Well, good morning. It's another Saturday morning. It's been raining a little bit out here. We're going to tackle today lowering this front end. I decided I'm going to go ahead and lower this front end with a method that I saw on YouTube and read on the forums. Krager Classics did a video on this using 1991 Ford Explorer front end coils and put them in this truck. So we're going to give it a try today and see how it works. These are the coils that I bought. Ordered those in. So supposedly these will do the job. It'll lower the truck a couple inches. So first thing I think we ought to do is measure the front end. I just opened the garage and look at these worms that trying to sneak in the garage. Okay, so let's measure this front end and see what it looks like. Alrighty. So this side looks like it's about 31 and a quarter, 31 and a half, depends where you measure from. Okay, let's go see this side. Okay, this one, and the tires could be aired up differently, not 100% sure. This one is about 31. So it could be the garage floor, could be the air pressure in the tires. I don't know. But we're close. We're 31 and a quarter. So what I'm going to do is take off the wheel. And I'll take off the wheels. And I think I'm going to do the driver's side first. And see if we can swap this out. I'll probably do a little cleanup while I'm underneath there. I've never had the front tires off of this thing. Well, I took them off to put these tires on, but I've never done anything other than scrape off the 400 pounds of grease and grime that was in there. Alrighty, so let's get to work. Okay, here's what it looks like. I just pulled off the wheel. That's all I've done. Here's what it looks like up underneath here. It's got a bunch of grime and grease and stuff. The power steering cap is missing, so that was spewing things all over, it looked like. So I did the right thing and I put a baggie over it and a zip tie till I get a new one. Just kind of inspecting what I have here. Doesn't look like it's too bad. Kind of looks like the bushings might have been replaced back there. Hard to see with this light. I might scrape some of that junk out of there. Scrape a little bit of oh, my light shut off. This is an old Harbor Freight light, I think. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Have to take off the shock. So I think the process is we'll undo that bolt on the shock, pull that out of the way, so then when I do release the jack, it's not holding everything up. And then I'll take that bolt out right there that holds that top of the spring in, and then we have to take that bolt off down in there. So I'm gonna start with the shock. Okay, just pulled the bolt out of the bottom of that shock. There's a bolt. So that's loose. Now I think I'm gonna try to see if I got a wrench to go on that thing. Maybe I should spray it with some WD-40 or PB blaster first too. Yeah, I'll do that bottom one, and then I'll do the top one. The top bolt. Finding more grime on this underneath here, down in here. That'll drive me crazy, so I'll probably end up scraping that stuff off. We'll see. Okay, let's find a wrench for that thing there. Okay, can't find anything that I have wrench-wise that's big enough, so I put a crescent wrench on there. No idea if that'll work. So, let's see. This needs to come my way, I believe. It's gonna be interesting. Let's see if I can get a breaker bar. Let's see. Hey, where's my breaker bar? Let's see, where'd I put it last? It's gotta be in here somewhere. Huh. That's interesting. Don't know where it is. Okay, I'll have to look for it. Okay, I found it. So, we're gonna see if this thing even moves. Oh yeah. Ooh, that might do it. That moved it. Let's try it again. I don't know if it turns on the bottom. Let's see. I don't know what kind of wrench that you're supposed to use. Probably just a regular wrench. I'll get another bite on it. Oh, that might. Kinda on there. Kinda on there. Let's see. Oh yeah, turned. Okay, I'm gonna work on it for a minute and see if I can get this off. Okay, I've been working on this since, let me check my watch. Okay, 15-20 minutes I've been slowly turning this bolt. It's required the breaker bar every single turn, but now that we're getting close, let's see. Now that we're getting close, I can just do it by hand. Let's see if we can finish it off. Get it off. She's a-coming. Okay. Put my fingers in there. Boy, that makes you nervous in case something happened and it's cut your fingers off. Almost there. Okay. Okay. That's out of there. One down. Now I'm going to tackle that thing up top. See if it comes undone. Still feels like it's okay. There's actually two bolts on top of here. First one, be back there, needs a ratchet on the other end, so I've been working on that. And then I switched to this one, see if this one would be any easier. This one was a lot easier because it doesn't require something on the bottom. Okay, that's that bolt. It's just a clamp that clamps on the spring up there. Let's see if Just stick my finger down in there. Okay. That back one's loose, but I don't want to break it, and it's pretty stiff coming out. So I'm gonna work on that, but making some progress. A little dirty. Bending over down under here makes it a little hard to breathe sometimes. I don't know about you guys, but it makes it hard for me to breathe. Maybe I'm just a fatty. The cab corners are pretty bad shape. Someone ought to replace those. I sure don't want to. But the rest isn't in too bad a shape up here. Okay, back to that bolt. Gotta get that off. Well, that one doesn't want to come off. On the bottom, it's reached the end of the bolt, but it's just tighter than snot. And I rounded off the top of the bolt. So, what we're gonna do now is get the handy dandy saw and cut that thing off. Well, maybe I ought to put the phone down and use two hands. Okay, I'm gonna cut that off. I put the phone down, use two hands, and cut it off. Let's see if it'll fall out. Okay. That means the top part of the spring is no longer clamped in. The bottom part no longer held in. Theoretically, I should be able to let this jack down. It's holding this, and that spring should come out. Well, I want the top clamp. I'm going to see if I can get a crowbar, just pop that out of there. I don't want to step on that and bend that if I don't have to. Dang. Okay. She's pretty much out. It's heavier than I thought. Okay. Springs on the ground. There's the washer. Okay, that's what it looks like up in there. Where's that piece that fell? There she is. This thing. That clamped up on there. Okay. Set that right there for a second. Okay, let's compare these to the new ones. Love that. Let's step out here. Okay, there's the old one. I grabbed the new one. And by the way, this is what I bought. Moog CC870. That's what was on the video at Krager Classic. I probably butchering that name, but that's what he bought. Okay, so the pigtails are the same. Okay, I got the pigtails there. Definitely shorter. We'll see how that snugs up. But looks promising. Okay, I think I'm gonna clean this up a little bit before I put that in there. So I'll scrape all the junk off and maybe hit it with the wire wheel and clean it up. I'll work on that off camera a little bit. Okay, I have been wire brushing and wire wheeling this. So there's the grinder with the wire wheel, and somewhere around here, there it is the wire brush. So I've wired brushed. I'm gonna try to grab this light. I got it stuck up on the inner fender wheel. So I've wire wheeled the drum, wire wheeled a lot of this stuff, and then I've sprayed it with some Loctite and rust converter. I'll show you what that is here in a second. But it's looking way better. This stuff says you have to let it dry for 24 hours before you paint it, and you're supposed to put a top coat, which is just paint. I don't know if I want to wait 24 hours. Got things to do. I want to get this spring in here. This stuff. Loctite Extend Rust Neutralizer. Seemed to work on the rear drums and part of the frame that I used it on. So it'll probably work here. Wheel well cleaned up a little bit. Threw some paint on it. And let's see what paint. Here's the paint I've been putting on it. Rust-Oleum engine enamel. Black. I've got the 91 Ford Explorer spring in there. I've got the top part of it clamped in. I don't know if you can see those bolts. Yeah, you can see them. A couple bolts in there. I have those tightened up. And now I just need to tighten this nut. So I'm going to tighten it as tight as I can with my fingers, which ain't going to be very far. That's about it. Then I'll use the handy dandy crescent wrench and tighten that thing down. And then this side should be done. Okay, I've got the spring in there. The nut at the bottom is tight. I imagine I'll have to check that again as the spring gets pushed down on that little nipple at the bottom. I've sprayed the gray on there. Yeah, I'll clean that up. But I'm getting close. I think what I'm going to do now is walk away for a little bit off of this side. This is the driver's side. And let some of this paint dry before I throw the wheel back on here and pull the jack stand out and see what happens. But I need to let it dry. I keep sticking my finger in the wet paint and my sleeves. So I'll let it dry, and then we'll throw the tire on, and then we'll measure. Don't know if it'll be an accurate measurement because we haven't done both sides, but just a quick check to see what it drops it down to. We'll see in a minute. Okay, I just put the tire back on, dropped the jack just to get an idea of what it's gonna look like. That doesn't look too shabby. Looks better than having their front end a little higher than their rear. That might look good once we pull it out of here and put it on the driveway. We can look at it a little closer. But it definitely looks like it dropped it. Let's look at the front. The right side is leaning this way, so that's looking like it definitely did the trick. The wheels don't look like their camber has messed up too bad. Okay, so let me get my glove out of the front of the phone and let's go measure it. Okay, our previous phone was 31 1/4. Hey, there's some sandpaper I left in there. Close to 30 at the bottom of that chrome trim. So that's 1 1/4 so far, but I haven't driven it, haven't bounced on it, so it might squish a little bit more as it seats. So I'd say that is successful. Okay, driver's side down, passenger side next. I'm not sure I'm going to get too far on it today. Might be another Saturday I tackle that, but we'll see.